make matters worse, something about cyberspace makes it easy to forget that you are interacting with other real people, not just ASCII characters on a screen, but with human characters.
Alright, so when you enter new culture and cyberspace has its own culture, you're liable to commit a few social blunders. So what do we mean by few social blunders? These are stupid or like careless mistakes. We often commit this in an online platform. Or you might misunderstand what others say and take offense when it's not intended. Of course, say for example, in our put the finger down a while ago, put the finger down if you have ever sent a message in all caps. Yes? So we interpret it as yelling. We're yelling online. But say for example, as to if you have someone, a close friend, which you use uppercase letter when chatting, I think it's fine since I think it's part of your inside jokes, I think. So to make matter worse, something about cyberspace makes it easy to forget that you're interacting with other real people, not just ASC double I characters. So the meaning of ASC double I is actually American standard. So always remember that we're interacting with a real life human and not just a code. You know, coding. So since Virginia Shaya gave an excerpt about cyberspace, she actually came up with 10 rules. 10 core rules of netiquette by Virginia Shaya. So the first three, remember the human, adhere to the same standards of behavior online that we follow in real life, know where you are in cyberspace, actually simply talks about, remember that you are interacting with a real life human. So you should act like you are actually talking to our real life people because they are actually humans. So you give the same respect that you are giving to our real life humans since who knows, you might offend other people of what you might say online. Number 4 is respect other people's time and bandwidth. 5th is make yourself look good online. 6th is share expert knowledge. 7, help keep playing wars under control. So the 5th to 7th one only means that do not include yourself in online wars. Like do not argue, especially if it is nonsense arguments. Since your digital footprint is, it's hard to erase since it's in online. Ninth and the last one is don't abuse your power, and lastly, be forgiving of other people's mistakes because no one is perfect and some people, see for example, might commit a typographical error on the internet. So you don't screenshot, then save it to your GCs. That's bad. Are you guilty of that?
Yes.
Oh my god. You should try to avoid that. Okay, so since we're talking about netiquette, who among you are student leaders? Student leaders? You're a student leader. Who else? Who else? Student leaders. Have you ever tried sending an email to, say for example, a resource speaker, to your teacher, to your advisor? Have you? Alright. So do you think your email is in a correct format? You send your email in a correct format. Do you think? Okay, that's very good. So this is so easy since you already have prior knowledge. So golden rule first, think before you click. Always think before you click. Because, someone might screenshot your stupid mistake and online platform. So we're not talking about sending emails. So this one, wait lang. So this one is our message etiquette. sender. So when sending an email, always fill out the message header properly. So put the finger down if you ever like you forgot to put a subject here in the subject line. Alright, that's forgivable I think. In the to section, make sure that you enter the right email address of your recipient because you will not expect a reply if you are sending it to a wrong person. So always make sure that the email address that you enter in this field is correct. And then the CC, who knows the meaning of CC?
Crowd control. Ay,
What? What's the meaning of CC?
hindi ko po crowd control.
CC? What's the meaning of CC?
Crowd control.
CC, wild guess. Oh, dali, raise your hand.
Copyright caption.
No! No, it's not copyright caption. Wild guess. Critical.
Critical composition.
CC.
Crowd control.
CC, none. None, wild guess.
Counter.
Alright, so the actual meaning of CC is actually carbon copy. Okay, so how about BCC? We already know what CC means. So what about BCC?
My carbon copy.
What? No! BCC! What's the meaning of BCC? BCC! No! Nine! I guess nine. Okay. So the actually the meaning of BCC is blind.
Blind carbon copy. Wow!
Copy.
Wow!
So do you know the difference between the two?
Sa mga nakakita.
Yes, it's live. So, no, anyone? Do you know the difference between the two? Okay, not. Okay, let's discuss it further. So there is also a CC and a BCC. Oh my God, it's hard to transfer from. Alright, so this is the BCC and BCC from. So you put the CC if you're intending to send a message to other recipient without expecting them to reply. Alright? You're not expecting a reply to them. Your only intention is to let them know that you send a message to this recipient. Because in this field, in the to field, you're expecting a reply like, I received a message, something like that. While in CC, the recipient here, you're not expecting a reply from them. Your intention is to only let them see what you sent to your original recipient. And what's the difference between CC and BCC? It's called blind carbon copy because your recipient, your original recipient, will not see that you include this person. Only you, the sender, will know that you send an email to this person. Are you getting it right now?
No.
You're real or fake? I think that's one. Okay. You understand? Clear?
Yes.
Clear? When I say clear, you say crystal. Clear? Again, clear? Alright. So we're now moving on our skill method. So you can enter as many addresses in this data fields, but the addresses of recipients using a BCC. Again, what's BCC? Alright, will not be displayed in the actual email. Again, only you, the sender, will see the person you sent here. Keep in mind that when you send an email to a CC, the intended original recipients in the to field will see that address. So again, the difference is that in CC, the original recipient will see the other person that's included in the email. While in the BCC, you as a sender, you only have the access in, you're the only person who knows that you included this person in your email. So unless your email is urgent and requires everyone's attention, the number of recipients must be limited. Because you might restrict your account in Gmail if you put the recipient. Alright, so message headers. Someone from the class, can you please read this bullet? Someone from the class. Yes?
Fill out the subject line to let the recipient know what the email is about.
Okay. So I'm also guilty about this. When I first sent an email to someone, I wasn't aware that I should put a subject in here. But always remember, especially if you're sending an email to your professor or your teacher, you should put a subject in the subject line because they might just ignore your email since they might think it's just a spam or what. Since you did not include a subject, your subject like it elaborates or it gives like your what do you call it? Like the subject line presents the topic at hand. And then this part, the body. The salutation must reflect courtesy and address the recipient appropriately, depending on how well you know the person. So don't forget also your salutation. It is followed by the title and the name of the recipient. But we usually use the surname of the person we're sending an email to. And then this is the actual content of your email. The use of year is acceptable for both social and business letters, provided that you supply the appropriate title and the name of your recipient. For more formal emails, use the title and the last name of the recipient. Never use to whom it may concern in business emails. When do we use to whom it may concern? When do we use to whom it may concern?
General public.
If you are,
General public.
if you are,
Copyright.
huh? Right. If you are unsure of the person you are sending an email to. Alright, so the other way to if you're unsure but you're like sure about the company name, then you just include it in the this part. You may use the company name. Then always wrap up your message by expressing your expected response to it. Since we're expecting a reply to the person you are sending an email to. So and then end your message by thanking the recipient as well. Choose a simple, readable font when writing your email. Do not use font changer to just to make it look fancy or what. Just a simple font will do. And then lastly is the attachments. There are times when you need to attach documents, photos, or videos to your messages. So what's the limited file size in Gmail? 25. So you have to always check your file size. Since you had to send an attachment, if it exceeded the 25 MB of Gmail. And also the file type, if your professor requires you to submit an attachment through PDF, JPEG, or other file type, you should submit in that. And then make sure to mention in your messages that you have attached a file in the email so that they will know that you have attached something because they might overlook your attachment if you did not include that you have attached a file in your email. The next one is, this is an example of attachment. This one. Are you familiar with lorem ipsum? Yeah.
Lorem
Yeah.
ipsum.
This is the attachment, and you should include in your email that you have attached an attachment. Who's using their phones inside the class? May I have your phone? May I have your phone? Who? Alright? Okay, attention. So, are we clear with the part? Here? Here? Here?
Crystal!
Alright, so sending messages on social media. So, this one is very relevant and timely since and beyond their working hours. Yeah, just based on experience. So note, avoid starting your message with hi, hello, musta. Since they are not your friends, they are your teachers. So you should start with good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ma'am, sir. Second, introduce yourself. Don't just barge in with your concern. I am, your name, your section, your student in. Since, again, my note here, your teachers are handling multiple sections. So he or she might not recognize you, especially if your name in Facebook Messenger is different. Say for example, other students prefer to have their Facebook name in their first name. Say for example, Angel May Kalaluan. I will only put Angel May. I will not include my surname. Do you also do that? Do you? Why? You put your full name on Facebook? Full name? It's fine. As long as that mas mapagmahal. Something like that. Because the teacher should not recognize you if you Alright, so third is state the purpose of your message. So I would like to ask a question regarding I was informed by my classmates that that's how you ask for your And then the fourth one, ask for clarifications because that's the intention of your message. May I ask if, may I confirm if you have received, may I clarify the schedule of, make sure that you always send your message in a respectful manner. And lastly, end the conversation with gratitude. Always. Thank you for answering my question, Mami Sir. Do not just give your teacher on scene after he or she answer your questions. Huwag here leave your teachers on scene or you just reacted to his or her last message. Oh my God. That's fine. I'm also So are we clear on the topic of sending? Are we clear? So if you have netiquette of sending, you also have netiquette of replying. Of course, you have to reply. So replying on email. So this is just, you already have knowledge about this because you're already in grade 1, so you should be. So can someone from the class read the first bullet? Someone, or I'll just point out random people because I don't know your names. Yes, Mr.
Yes!
Can we please read?
Read.
The first bullet, replying an email. Can you say this?
Skin.
No. Do I have that class? I know.
It is good practice to reply to important emails promptly, especially those that need your attention immediately.
Go.
Reply should be brief and concise, unless the original message demands an explanation. It should lead to answers and actions. If the message was sent to a group, reply directly to sender unless you have a very good reason to include everyone in your reply. When someone gives in other members of a group to someone, express message. It should It should be to inform and ask for specific action.
Alright. So I think this is also applicable to you, especially if someone sends you an important email. You have to reply promptly, especially if it needs your attention immediately. So reply should be brief and concise. Remember that not everyone proceed. So if since this is still in email, Gmail has this feature that it has a suggestion of what you should reply to an email. Have you seen that?
Wow.
Oh, I thought you already use an email, Gmail. You're using Gmail when you're sending an email.
Spam. Spam.
You haven't seen that? Like, thank you, I have received your email and the likes. Oh my god, you haven't seen that? You should try.
Only in
That's directly
Messenger.
involved in a conversation that is resolution. You are not expected to participate. You are not expected to participate unless your opinion is directly solved. Alright, take note of this. You are not expected to participate unless your opinion is directly solved. This one, reply on social media. We're talking about email a while ago. We're now on social media again. So when you're replying or making comments, be sure to read the messages or post thoroughly first to get an idea of the tone and topic of the group discussion. This helps you get a better sense of how to contribute to the discussion. Again, you should read thoroughly what's being discussed. See, for example, in the comment section, don't make irrelevant comments like the binangkal recipe, even though it's nothing, it's not relevant to the post. Did you ever do that? The binangkal recipe? No, you should avoid that. It's not relevant. And according to BCC website, shares these points about replying on social media. Refrain from personal abuse. You may express a robust disagreement, strong disagreement with what someone says, but don't call them names or threaten them with personal violence. If you're going to criticize someone, make sure to do it. What's the word for that? Constructive. Make it constructive. If you're gonna criticize someone, make it in constructive criticism. Do not resort to ad hominem because that might offend the people you are talking to. You know what's ad hominem? What's ad hominem? Personal, right? You're attacking the person personally, not the argument itself. Okay, so remember that your posts are public. They can hear it by your partner. Who among here has a partner?
Taas ka mo. Sir, kung di ba na yata official?
Of course, you don't have children yet. Your parents, your parents. Sorry, but this might be your teacher. Stay on topic, especially whether you don't post about football in a care farm or about care in the gardening forest. That's what I'm talking about earlier, the binangkal recipe. It's about football, then it's about football. You don't have to put that. Still on social media, so when you're replying or making comments, be sure to read the messages or post thoroughly first to get an idea of the tone topic of the group discussion. It's the same from the previous slide. So, part of etiquette of replying is knowing the most appropriate method of replying. So you have to really read the message first before you reply, so you know the context of what you are replying to. Would it be more polite or proper to reply using a private message? Or would replying in a group chat give the same impression? So if your concern is only intended for one person, so you might just consider to send it privately so that you have a direct conversation with that person and not everyone in the group can read your message. For privacy and confidentiality, which we're going to talk about later. So, when presenting facts and making your argument more clear to the recipient, again, constructive criticism or constructive feedback, and you're replying as well as in sending, always keep in mind how the recipient would feel or react. Always be mindful of what you send and what you reply. Alright, is that clear?
Yes,
Is that clear? I think you want to take a nap now. Don't worry, I think this is the last topic for this discussion. Can I hear put your hands up in the air. And can you please wave with that? Oh my God! Alright. Technology has given citizens access to information belonging to them. If one is not careful about their social media settings, personal information might be shared without them knowing. A friend of a friend may have access to their personal data, as well as other links and directions. Even without permission, one may screenshot and share some Facebook. Thank you. So who among you here is familiar with the recent issue about GCash?
Wala pong di ka.
Because hackers were able to find a way to hack their account. That's why it's important to keep your personal information. Do not share it online. Do you have Facebook? Facebook. Is your Facebook setting safe or commonly here lock their profile in Facebook? It's locked. Locked. Can I see your hands for those people who lock their Facebook? They know that option. Like you can lock your profile so that no one can see what you post, what you share. Only your friends. Are you familiar with it? Familiar? Alright. So I think it's the safest option if you don't want others to see what you post. If you don't want your teacher suddenly he or she stalk you in social media. If you don't want them to see the memes.
Nakita na drone.
Better to lock your Facebook profile. So, William Stewart states that when you post anything to public internet newsroom, mailing list, or chat room, you generally give up the rights, the content, and expectation of privacy or confidentiality. That's why it's important for you to think before you click. Because once you send it, you might delete it later, but someone might already take a screenshot of that message. So, it's just senseless if you delete it because they already have your message, your screenshot. In most countries, anything you post in public space can be saved, archived, duplicated, distributed, and published, even years later by anyone in the same way as a photograph taken in a public space like a city park. You have memories in Facebook?
Yes.
Want to see your memories in Facebook?
No.
What?
No.
Of course, you can see your memories in Facebook. You can see
I made
that. You can see your memories in Facebook. We're talking about etiquette, so it's important to always ask permission. So remember that while messages, data, photos, and videos may have been shared by some people publicly, this does not mean that you can freely use or share this content. Alright? So if someone sends you a confidential message, photos, videos, if it is only meant for you, do not share it to someone else. Clear? Oh my god, it's not clear. Clear? I think you're doing that. Even if, make sure you don't do that, Like if the message is only intended for you, the photos, videos, do not share it to others. Because that person trusts you. So that's why he or she sends you the photos or videos. So you don't have any rights to share it to others. Because he or she trusts you to keep that photos, videos, or message. Alright? So take note of the copyright restrictions that might limit your use of the word. So we're talking about here intellectual property rights. Like say for example, your research, no one can just get it without asking for your permission because we have a law for that, copyright law. Why?
Nakasuhan kita, pinicturean mo akong tulog.
Don't post that on social media, especially those people who loves to post, epic faces of their friends without their permission on their birthdays. To do that.
Lagot ang gallery mo na yun.
Alright, attention. So media organizations have found use for user-generated photos and videos. Twitter?
Laktanin mo!
X. X.
Ayaw na pong balikan.
Don't use X? Okay. That's very good since it's a toxic online world.
Napunta lang po pag may kailangan.
But, wait. I mentioned X because I've seen some, say for example, post, say for example, I took a photo or video and it's somewhat relevant that can be shared through a public. A media organization can contact me to ask for my permission if they can use that photo or videos to like post publicly. So it's really important you like put a credit to whatever you post online if it's not yours. So networks have levels of arrangements with the owners of these photos and videos. They pay the owners for its exclusive use. If the user content is really good or simply ask permission, provided that the owner is duly acknowledged. Always acknowledge the original owner of your of the photo or videos that you will use. This also applies in academics, ha? Like if you put something on your presentation, if it comes from the internet, you have to put the source, credits to, something like that. Next is still asking permission. So other networks have created an army of netizens who could supply them with a steady stream of user-generated content. Permission is also necessary when networks and newspapers use posts and comments from netizens as part of trending stories. Are you familiar with FPPF? Like, yeah?
Full turkey.
Like the page on Facebook who posts random photos, videos, but they ask the original owner first. Or it's like a
For you.
satire page, satirical page. Are you familiar with that? The blue one?
It's not crystal.
Wait, for what? Let's try to search that. I doubt you're not familiar with it because a lot of youngsters are using it.
I'm not forever.
What the hell? You do not know that page?
I don't read regular.
The internet is not giving. I'm searching it right now. Oh, I thought you're familiar with it because it's, their posts are very relevant. Say for example, the issue about Beauty Sarah. It's like a typical page. Follow the trend movement. You don't know this page? Follow Miss this. Are you familiar with this one? They're such a very like they post memes. Memes. Alright, so you're really not familiar with that. No one? Okay, so you're not familiar with this page. Let's leave it at that. Alright, so next. The point of a slide is just to ask permission on if ever you use photos or videos of other people. So sharing private information. So refrain from sharing other people's email address, because why would you do that? Do not share other people's email address, their home addresses, telephone numbers, bank accounts numbers, and other personal information. Because again, hackers might use this for their personal gain. They might use this to access your bank accounts or your GCash or your other, online platforms that might harm you and might harm others. So such information, if accessed by the wrong people, can do others harm. So government agencies and private companies have separate and strict confidentiality rules. All the information that they acquire is not to be shared with anyone. Who among you here reads the rules and agreements first before clicking the I agree? No. They're directly checking in and then said accept.
It's time for June.
Oh, alright. I'm guilty of that. Again, private information, data privacy. Have you ever answered a survey questionnaire? Survey questionnaire. Do you read the agreement first? No, you don't read the agreement first.
As long as I see the data privacy.
Something that comes you harm. You should read first the agreement. And what law protects us from these kind of scams has Data Privacy Act of 2012. So in fact, the Data Privacy Act makes it clear that data obtained can be retained only for as long as necessary for the fulfillment of the purposes for which the data was obtained for the establishment, exercise, or defense of legal claims or for legitimate business purposes, or as provided by law. Still, consent is required. So your personal information, given that it is protected by Data Privacy Act of 2012, it should only be accessed by the company and for the sole purpose of that they will just use it just to say for example for your bank, for your other information, like if you're gonna set up your GCash account or other accounts. Those are just it's in the agreement form of the company that you accept and you sign sometimes. So always they should always send you a consent before acquiring your personal information. So more importantly, the data is not to be amended without permission from the data owner. Again, they have to ask you permission first before they access your personal information. This is although often disregarded, proper etiquette is important in combating the issues and challenges that have sprung from the advent of new media, especially social media. Because nowadays it's so easy to access your personal information because you have Facebook. That's why it's important to always check your the details that you put, especially if you created your Facebook long time ago, because we like to post everything on social media. As a media and information literate, you must uphold the concepts discussed in this lesson so that you won't help change new media and social media for the better. So this is the last slide, I think. So every click, comment, and share has power. Let's use that power to create a kinder, safer, and more respectful online world. So since this is the last slide, may I ask someone from the class to interpret the citation or the statement? I want someone from this group. Mr. Dave, can you please? You're excited about this. Very subjective, you can tell me any reaction or feedback about this statement. So, you have all the time to read that first and then you share your insight about this. I would spot people here who's not paying attention. Yes, Mr. Dave, can you share something about this? This is like the general concept of what we had discussed a while ago. If you were listening, but I can see you closing your eyes and daydreaming. Woo! Are you listening? In what part? Until what part? Can you integrate the three topics? I think that's And then, what's the other one? If we reply, then someone oh, nothing at all? Sunday. Alright, so may I hear your insight about this?
S-A-A.
From this group again, because I cannot see them
Jaden.
since I'm
Jaden.
almost here. That Mr. Alright, thank you. How about from this group in the middle? Volunteer or you want me to find a random student? Yes, Mr. Silence everyone!
Everything is doing so well, especially when we have the initiative when can influence other people. So we have to create an environment where we influence, where we promote the kindness, safety, and more respect to the time.
That's right! Very good. Representative! Representative from the What's the name?
Mindful sa words. Be better than you.
Thank you for the question.
One minute. Bring back memories. Babe, mabalik yata sa'yo to. Tahimik na. Yun.
Or you want me to go back to Mr. Dave?
Mr.
Mr.
Mom, can I go to the cigar po?
Mom, I thought you were gonna answer. Okay, go.
Since every click, comment, and share has power, we should be responsible in doing so. By being responsible, we can create a kinder and safer and more respectful organization.
Alright, so that's the last slide. But first, can you have someone who share something that they have learned during the discussion? Or do I need to call random names again? Do you want me to call random names? I remember someone from this class. His name is Sherbert. Do you want to share something? What did you learn upon the discussion?
Sending and receiving is so important.
Because?
It is important in our life.
Why? Why is it important?
Yes.
Why is it important, Herbert?
Because it is so important.
Thank you.
Alright, at least he answered. Someone from the class, what have you remembered from our discussion? I'll call random names again. Point out random student. Yes. Since you're smiling at me. What have you remembered from our class discussion?
Proper setting and proper replying is important. It helps etiquette.
What do we call those people who use the internet? The internet.
Netizen.